What's up, everybody? This is ATL Sports HQ Live 2019 NFL Mock Draft Show. I am Bob Lancaster. You can find me at Bowling Bob on Twitter.
And I'm Bret Anderson. You can follow me on Twitter at Bret_A27.
So essentially what we're going to do here is we're going to mock draft the whole first round. What we'll do is I'll go ahead and say my pick, and then Bret will go ahead and say his pick. And then we'll kind of just discuss on why we think, why each of us picked the way we did. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and start with Arizona on the clock. I don't think that they're going to mess around here. I think they're going to take Kyler Murray, the quarterback from Oklahoma. What do you think?
I'm agreeing with you. Kyler Murray's going to be first overall pick. I mean, Kingsbury said it himself. He said if he had the first overall pick, he would take Kyler Murray before he got the head coaching job. And lo and behold, he has the opportunity. I think he'll be a man of his word.
It's very, very, very weird for a team to admit they made a mistake 1 year in from drafting a quarterback, a highly touted quarterback, especially last year. But it seems like the Cardinals are willing to admit defeat on this. That Christian Kirk, even with the second pick in the first round last year, was hurt, didn't really pan out. But Cliff Kingsbury wants somebody that he can input the air raid offense and run it to the way that he likes to run it. He sees Kyler Murray as being another Baker Mayfield, so I think it's a smart pick. I mean, the NFL seems to be going to the younger quarterback style play. Sean McVay kind of turned things around with as far as not needing a ton of head coaching experience to get a job. So now everybody wants to hit on the young head coach. So I think he wants to make the biggest splash possible. Now, not necessarily the best player. I'm pretty sure we're both going to go with the same thing on the number 2 pick, who may be the best player in the draft. But I just think this
easily Nick Bosa is the second best player, or second overall pick, I think.
Yeah,
easily.
Yeah. So I think we both take Nick Bosa for San Fran as the second pick. Nick Bosa, probably, like I said, the best player in the draft. San Francisco really, really, really needs an edge rusher on their defense. And, if he's anything like, his brother, coming in the NFL, he may be the best pick essentially, to come out of this draft in the long run. Do you agree with that?
I completely agree. He's going to be his brother's a beast for the Chargers, and Nick Bosa is going to be the same thing, I think, for 49ers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think 1 and 2 are pretty cut and dry. If the Cardinals essentially, surprise us all, the only surprise will be is that they'll take Nick Bosa number 1. But what could be interesting though, staying within the first 2 is, if with the Cardinals already having Josh Rosen. Will they be trading him come tomorrow before the draft? I mean, you really lose all your leverage if you hold on to him, because then they know that you've just got him as a backup, and, now teams aren't going to offer as much for him. I think you've seen, what the asking price for, elite athletes are, with Frank Clark getting traded to Kansas City, knowing that it took, first rounders, second rounders, those type of things. I think, Rosen could possibly cost, a team more. So it'd be interesting to see if any of these guys, try to, take Rosen instead of drafting a quarterback, coming down. You got a lot of teams like New York, Tampa, or New York, and Washington, wanting a quarterback. So, you may just go with Josh Rosen there. But for the third pick, for the Jets, I got Quinnen Williams, the defensive tackle from Alabama.
Yeah, I'm going with Quinnen Williams from Alabama at 3 too.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that third pick, I know we're probably going to talk about this some. That's going to be a hot topic for the whole draft night leading up to it. It can be Redskins are trade up and go get Haskins. You could have, heck, even the Raiders. They're just trying to play that little smokescreen game, Ed Oliver, and know how much the Raiders love Ed Oliver. So the Falcons, they love Ed Oliver too. They worked out last time. They traded a bunch of picks, go get a guy up. They drafted Julio Jones. So
my note after this says, look to see a few teams try and trade up here. The Jets know they're in a good position here. They don't really have a must need to not that they couldn't find later on, especially like I said, if the Redskins want to trade up, they're at 15. You can still find a good defensive tackle there. Denver is another one, even at 10, they could be looking for a quarterback with Drew Lock. So it'll be interesting to see, who, if they hold on to that pick. But I'm probably saying, 60% or so that they hold a second, that they end up trading that pick. I would say 60%. So, but for the Raiders, I got a big name last year, but that it was a quarterback. I got Josh Allen, the edge rush from Kentucky.
I have Ed Oliver going here at 4 because they just seem that then Ed Oliver was so underutilized in college. I feel like he could be a big pass rusher that they need on the edge. So, but I can see Josh Allen going at 4. But I know some teams are wondering. I'm not worried about this, but some teams think he could be a one-year wonder because he had 17 sacks his senior year. They only had 14 sacks 3 years before that combined. But he's definitely a freak athlete. Both of them are freak athletes. But
yeah, Josh Allen.
Ed Oliver in mind.
The only reason I said Josh Allen is I've heard for the last week or so that there's really only a couple teams that are really like hardcore into Ed Oliver, the Falcons being one of them. And I know that, the Raiders really were, during the combine, and were scouting Josh Allen pretty hard. But the kind of the twist here is that I think that if, the Cardinals go and take Nick Bosa, that the Raiders will take Kyler Murray there. So,
I agree.
Yeah, there's kind of that little, caveat of, if what the number 1 pick brings. Again, it could be a shock. We don't know what Arizona's really thinking. I know it's between those two, so. So that number 4 slot could be interesting just for the fact alone that, again, if Kyler Murray isn't drafted number 1. So, but for Tampa Bay and the number 5 spot, I took Devin White, the linebacker from LSU.
Yeah, same thing. I got Devin White. We lost Quan Alexander, and they get the 3-4 technique they run. They need a guy like Devin White running around the middle of that defense. He's a maniac. He's a ball hawk. He knows for the football. He's going to make a tackle, so he's going to be a pest in the NFC South for sure.
You said exactly what I say, and it's a need for Tampa Bay too. Tampa Bay needs that strong linebacker. As a caveat here too, this is where I think the Redskins might try and sneak in, and if that number 3 pick doesn't get traded away by the Jets, but I think they could come in through Tampa Bay and try for Haskins. Haskins would probably be their first pick, or Drew Lock. So, Devin White definitely the best fit for them. So I would anticipate that they'd stay in that pick because he would just be perfect, and he's been tied to them pretty much through all the mock drafts that I've read. So it seems to be someone that they've definitely had their eyes on. So. For the number 6 pick for the New York Giants, I got Drew Lock, the quarterback from Missouri. I think they're ready to replace Eli Manning here in the next year or so, and I think he would be a great addition to that team.
Let's see here. I see this is where I have Josh Allen going here. I know they're kind of split on doing a quarterback there at 6. Some say they're going to Dwayne Haskins, some Drew Lock. But I know Dave Gettleman, he was there when they won a Super Bowl. And when they had won a Super Bowl, they were built off a big-time pass rush. And that's why I got them taking Josh Allen. He lives up to what he did his senior, builds off of his senior year in college. He's going to be a real force for them on that defensive line.
Josh Allen, I agree. He would fit in. He would fit in good with the Giants. The Giants last year drafted Kyle Lauletta as I think it was like 4th or 5th round as a quarterback too. And so they may not see the need to get another quarterback and just develop Lauletta through the year to take over. So your pick probably is the more logical choice for the Giants. So but I just kind of threw that in there just because I know that, they haven't been as confident with Eli. So I think that if a chance to have a true proven pocket passer, Drew Lock would be that guy. So Jacksonville at the number 7, I got Jawan Taylor, the offensive tackle from Florida.
I got the same thing. I mean, the Jaguars always seem to draft a guy from Florida. State of Florida, Blake Bortles, Jalen Ramsey, Rashad Green, they're drafting a guy from the state of Florida in their first round. And even though Green wasn't a first round pick, but I got Jawan Taylor. They got to protect Nick Foles somehow. Yeah,
definitely. T.J. Hawkinson was another one that I thought maybe in this slot because he's such a great blocking tight end. But Jawan Taylor had a fantastic year on the offensive line for Florida. And you said it right, too, that they just love to draft guys from Florida. So when I seen him on the board, I was like, that just seems like the perfect guy for Jacksonville to take right there. The one thing about it is the offensive line last year for Jacksonville was just flat horrible. I mean, it didn't even matter how good their defense was because the offense just couldn't make up for that. How much of that was Blake Bortles? I'm sure we'll never know. I mean, Blake Bortles just isn't that great. So, but now you have a new quarterback. So again, you want to protect him because if he gets hurt, there's nothing behind him anymore. So, so I definitely like Jawan Taylor for Florida, but. Now for number 8 and for Detroit, I got Rashawn Gary, the edge rush from Michigan.
I was about to put Gary there, but I gave him T.J. Hawkinson because the Lions just seem to be stuck in mud. They're either average or really below average. It never fails every year. And give Stafford another weapon. Matt Patricia saw a good having a good tight end can boost an offense, and Gronkowski in New England. And Hawkinson, I've seen, has drawn comparisons to Gronkowski, so I feel like that's a perfect match right there, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the history for Detroit is on drafting, offensive weapons, like your wide receivers, tight ends, because I just can't recall it very often. So, obviously Megatron was a draft pick for them. Matt Stafford was, but recently I can't think of really any. Who did they draft? They drafted the wide receiver this year, this last year. Oh, what was his name? Shoot, it's spacing me.
I can't remember his name either.
Yeah, but they drafted I'm pretty sure they drafted wide receiver in the first round this last year. So, so yeah, I mean, maybe I kind of think that Detroit has a lot of holes to fill. So that was a tough one for me. I used the whole, he went to Michigan, maybe he would be a great pick for Detroit kind of thing. But really, when I went and looked through their needs and stuff like that, I thought, maybe I'll just take an edge rusher because there's just so many good ones in this draft that, I thought, okay, then, but because I think that in the 9th pick for Buffalo is going to take T.J. Hawkinson, the tight end. Who did you have?
I got him taking Jonah Williams because they lost their left tackle, and I feel like they got to protect their young quarterback. So I got them taking Jonah Williams out of Alabama.
Yeah, he's pretty big dude too. So that's also a decent pick. But I actually have him sliding down quite a bit in the draft.
Mhm.
I don't really have any reason why, but I just I don't know. I don't even know why I had him sliding down so much. But there's a few guys that I had. There's a few guys that I had that I had going down in the draft that a lot of people have projected a little higher. I'm sure that you'll be surprised by some of them as we go along. So number 10, Denver Broncos. I actually have them taking Dwayne Haskins. If a trade doesn't happen, again, when we're going through this mock draft, we're mocking as if there is no trades. But, I'm pretty sure Dwayne Haskins won't be there. But if he is at number 10, I think the Broncos will take Dwayne Haskins. I know that, John Elway wants himself a quarterback, a good quality quarterback.
I'm with you on the quarterback, but I got to take him the guy he had on going to the Giants. So I got him taking Drew Lock. I just feel like that's kind of been the name match to them the entire draft process, I feel like. And but again, if Haskins is there, that could change a lot of things. I mean, the Redskins are pretty much going to dictate what the Broncos do, I think, in my opinion here. If they trade to go get Haskins, Broncos are going to get locked. But if that doesn't happen, Haskins on the board, you never know what can happen there.
I know Elway is infatuated with Drew Lock, so he would love to have Lock. But I agree with you. I think what's going to happen is we're going to see between Denver and Washington who wants Drew Lock a little bit more, or who wants a quarterback a little bit more, because I think those are the two teams that are going to want to get the Jets pick to draft a quarterback. That's gonna be interesting. Those two guys. The interesting thing about Denver, though, is Denver could wait a little bit and then try and trade into 32 and pick up Daniel Jones, who is rising up pretty good, and someone that, another pocket passer that John Elway, could kind of get behind and stuff. So, but I don't want to jump too far ahead. So, but that could also, influence for the number 10 pick. Number 11, Cincinnati Bengals. This is another one where I think trades are going to affect it, but I'm taking Ed Oliver here for Houston, obviously.
This is a weird one for me. They're the other team that could take a quarterback. They need quite a few things. They're like the Lions. They're kind of stuck in the mud too. But I got him taking Rashawn Gary out of Michigan, and injuries are a real big concern with him, but when he's healthy, we've seen what he can do when he's healthy. He was one recruit for a reason out of high school, and I feel like it'll be a good little matchup up front with them, Cincinnati.
Yeah, who did you have for Cincinnati again? Bret, who'd you have for Cincinnati again?
What would you say?
Who did you have for Cincinnati again? Hold on. Who did you take for Cincinnati?
Rashawn Gary.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I'm trying to think where I had him. It was I don't even think I had him. I don't think I had him in the first round. I'm telling you, there were some surprises that. Oh, no, never mind. I had him at the Detroit Lions. That's right. I was like, I thought I could have sworn I put his name in there, but yeah. I think that they definitely Cincinnati definitely needs defensive side of the ball. So I definitely agree with you. That it could be Rashawn Gary. I don't think that Ed Oliver is going to be there at number 11 to pick. Like I said, essentially we just have to go by that there are no trades. So number 12 for the Green Bay Packers, I got Noah Fant, the tight end from Iowa.
That is one that I was, again, split on right there, too. They could go tight end. I actually got them going tight end down with pick 30. But at 12, I got them picking Devin Bush. I just said it's toss-up between Noah Fant, Devin Bush, and I've read that Christian Wilkins is also a possibility here. But I decided to go with Devin Bush and give them some depth and revamp that linebacking group.
I think Green Bay does want Devin Bush. but I think Devin Bush falls to them later on down. So it's funny that you mentioned Devin Bush, because I just essentially swap what you're going to say. So because I think that they would like another weapon for Aaron Rodgers. And I don't think Noah Fant falls that far. He's probably probably about 5 guys that have really flown up the draft stock since pro day and since the combine. So I just know that Aaron Rodgers loves his tight end and wouldn't mind a few more weapons for the offense for him. So that was gonna be interesting. But like I said, Devin Bush, I also think he fit really well for Green Bay. So I like that pick too. So at number 13, the Miami Dolphins, I got Cleveland Farrell, the edge rush from Clemson.
I got Christian Wilkins again from Clemson. Yep, I mean, it's no joke. Their run defense was one of the worst in the league last year. They need some help up front, obviously. But Christian Wilkins slides right in and fits that perfectly.
Yeah, it could be either of the two. I mean, they're both equally as good as each other. So it's just going to be a matter of who wants who. I know that you can't go wrong. Both guys from Clemson. So both had great seasons. But so it could be either or on those. Now we get to the big pick here, number 14. I don't see the Falcons being here at 14 at all whatsoever. I really, really think that they want Ed Oliver, and that they're going to be willing to move up to try and get him. But if they are here at 14, I got him with Christian Wilkins, the defensive tackle from Clemson. But like I said, it was a coin toss between him and Cleveland Farrell. So.
Let's see here. I got them taking. I actually got them taking Dexter Lawrence again from Clemson. People have their questions about him, whether that PED issue is going to cost them or cause them to slide. But I don't care about PEDs or what. If you watch the games from the past few years, he's just an absolute animal up front. Exactly what the Falcons need. He's 340 pounds, can move, and I feel like he's a perfect fit to put beside Grady Jarrett, and he's an insurance in case you don't get Grady Jarrett signed for long term. He walks after this season. But again, people always say they're leaning towards Greedy Williams, is what I've been reading on Twitter and stuff like that. And I don't. Hopefully that doesn't happen. I want them to take a big guy up front like Lawrence, but yeah, who knows? But again, I think they want Ed Oliver, I think, and they're going to find a way to get him. They want him. If not, they'll settle for one of the second-tier defensive linemen.
Definitely. Number 15 is the Washington Redskins. Again, I would say I'm 95% chance that the Redskins aren't here at 15 to draft. But if they are for some reason, I have them drafting Brian Burns, the edge rush from Florida State.
I got them. Well, I got them. The Haskins pretty much said he's going to find a way on the Redskins roster. I think one way or another, whether he falls to him or they try to go get him. So I got Dwayne Haskins at 15.
Yeah, that'd be a crazy thing if Dwayne Haskins fell to them at 15. I couldn't see that. Like I said, they're definitely going to have to move their way up the board if they want any chance of getting Dwayne Haskins. Brian Burns, the only reason I picked him is I just think that Washington, despite needing a quarterback, wanting a quarterback, they really need a guy that gets to the quarterback. Their defense, hasn't been very good for the last few years or not. So, and Brian Burns is a fantastic guy to get to the quarterback. Had a really, really good year at Florida State. So, and I just really, really quick off the edge. So I really liked him for Washington if they wanted to address the defensive side. But like I said, everybody in the world knows they want a quarterback. So, with the number 16 pick of Carolina Panthers, I got them drafting Andre Dillard, the offensive tackle from Washington State.
I got them going with Brian Burns because their pass rush last year was bad. It was 27th in sacks per game last year, and he said Brian Burns is quick off the edge. He's one of the best edge rushers in this draft. and it's going to be a nightmare again in the NFC South. But he's a guy that he has connections to Carolina as well, and so I feel like that's a perfect fit right there for Brian Burns.
Carolina is another team that seems to draft a lot of Florida type products too, I think. But for me, it was Andre Dillard. Did a really, really, really good job last year protecting Washington State's star quarterback. I can't remember what his name was. I think he'll be third or fourth round pick quarterback. But
Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, Minshew. That's it. Yeah, he did a fantastic job blocking for Minshew, and he's very mobile for an offensive tackle. And so, someone has to essentially block for Cam Newton and the running game that Cam brings to it. I think he'd be a good addition. That's kind of really the only reason I picked him. It's just Minshew was not knocked down very much at all last year. So Washington State had a very, very underrated offensive line. So at number 17 for the New York Giants, I got Jonah Williams, the left tackle from Alabama, sliding down. He was something, you had him ranked up there pretty high for you. I've heard rumors that he is sliding down. So I've got Jonah Williams.
I got them. I'm taking Daniel Jones here at 17 because I just feel like that for some reason they are in love with Daniel Jones for whatever reason over more than Dwayne Haskins, more than Drew Lock, and so I got them. Again, he's a guy that you could take someone else there, then try and trade back up into the first round again and later rounds and get him. But I just feel like I'm taking Daniel Jones here, and plus they have that connect, like Cutcliffe working with Peyton Manning and Eli Manning and all that kind of connection. So I feel like kind of works a little bit.
Yeah, I would be surprised if for my pick that Jonah Williams would still be there at 17. I think he'd be a good addition. Jonah Williams would be a good addition for just about any team, looking for for a left tackle, bruiser for Alabama this last year. So, again, when you're getting into, 15 to, near the end, it really just a crapshoot of, just looking to see what a possible need is for each team. Because again, there's so many defensive guys this year that at least 10 that are just as good as the other ones. So it's kind of hard to put one ahead of the other. So, for number 18, the Minnesota Vikings, I got Cody Ford, the tackle guard from Oklahoma.
Yeah, well, we got the same position, kind of pretty much. Well, I got Andre Dillard going to jump onto the Vikings here team, boost that offensive line up on the right side a little bit.
Yeah, same thing again too. Trying a perfect two great guys for protecting quarterback, mobile. Really, really did a good job. He protected for Kyler Murray, obviously at Oklahoma, and Kyler Murray also was not knocked down very much this last year. So you can't go wrong, taking an offensive guy, to beef up your line a little bit. And Minnesota's a team that could definitely use on the offensive line side of the ball. So your pick is just good. Like I said, it's just those two are essentially the same style of play. So I think we definitely we agree with that as far as them needing the offensive side of the ball. So number 19, the Tennessee Titans. For me, I have Dexter Lawrence, the defensive tackle from Clemson.
I got them going with. I got them going with Montez Sweat. People are kind of worried about that little it's a big heart issue he has, and but still, he's a talent that you can't look at his numbers from the combine. It's hard to pass that up, even with the heart condition, because he has that 40 time that would have been considered elite speed for a receiver. I mean, it's insane the kind of talent this kid has, and so I feel like the Titans, they desperately need some kind of spark on that side of the ball as well. Roll the dice here and see if he hit a jackpot with Montez Sweat.
He had the best combine of anyone, I thought, as far as Montez Sweat. And so again, if we don't have the heart issue, we're talking a top 10 pick easily. And now, there's a chance that he falls out of the first round completely. In fact, he decided not even to go to the NFL draft tomorrow. So he may be hearing things, about him not even being picked in the first round. I agree with you. There's no way that he's not getting picked in the first round. I just think any team willing to take a risk, especially in those middle pick rounds. I got him going a few picks later, but I don't think that there's any way that he slides out of the first round. So let's see for the number 20, Pittsburgh Steelers. I got them taking DeAndre Baker from Georgia.
Well, we got the same position. I got him going with Byron Murphy, the corner from Washington. And again, people kind of worried about, is he going to be quick enough and whatsoever? And but I feel like he's a complete corner. Baker might be the most complete corner in the draft. And but Murphy, I feel like it's a good fit for him and doesn't have to be forced into playing time right away with Hayden and Nelson still there. So he could sit and learn if he had to, but play a limited role. So that's I feel like it'll be a good fit for him in Pittsburgh.
There's 4 cornerbacks. DeAndre Baker from Georgia, Rocky Sen from Temple, Greedy Williams from LSU, and Byron Murphy from Washington that are all top tier cornerbacks. And so you could really slide in any of those 4 to Pittsburgh. I really don't have, wouldn't have a problem with them taking, Byron Murphy as well. Me, I've seen a lot of Byron Murphy. Dude is a shutdown corner. So, and the same for you and DeAndre Baker. I mean, you know what DeAndre Baker brings to the table. I know what DeAndre Baker brings to the table. So,
beast.
If that's the pick, then Pittsburgh's not going to be disappointed with either one of those two. So, but we both definitely agree, though. They have cornerback issues, and that's something that they need to address. So, number 21, my Seattle Seahawks. This is where I got them taking Montez Sweat. Maybe that's a personal thing for me. If he's still there, I want the Seahawks to take a chance on him just because of the talent that he could possibly bring. So, but the thing is I don't know if the Seahawks would, because they really can't afford now with Frank Clark out of the picture to make a mistake on drafting on the defensive line. But man, if Sweat's healthy, he'd be a heck of an edge rush.
Yeah, I mean, same thing. I got them taking the edge rusher, but I got them probably might be even a little bit low. But Clyde Farrell going to Seattle, I feel that'll be like you said, they got to replace Frank Clark somehow and slide in Clyde Farrell, who I'll see what he can do during the college football season. He's a beast off the edge. So
very well too could see. You very well could see Seattle packaging the 21 and 29 to get up further in the draft too. I'm sure they wouldn't mind having Ed Oliver as well. So, it wouldn't surprise me if, Coach Q and, what's his face, Seattle coach. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
Pete Carroll.
Yeah. This is what happens when you work too much. You start forgetting names. But yeah, they come from the same mindset. They like the same players. So it wouldn't surprise me to see them make a run for him as well. So that's going to be interesting to watch. But I would personally love to have Montez Sweat there. 22 for the Baltimore Ravens. I actually got finally the wide receiver getting addressed. I got Marquise Hollywood Brown from Oklahoma.
That's a perfect fit for him right there, I feel like. But I got him going offensive line again. Garrett Bradbury, the center from North Carolina State. Again, I don't know why. I always feel like we draft a young quarterback. I feel like you got to draft offensive line at least in that same draft or use that first round pick the next year to get a big time talent offensive line, but again, he's got to have somebody to throw it to. So Hollywood Brown could be that guy there, and or DK Metcalf or whatever. You slide him there if you wanted to. But yeah, either a receiver, offensive line, either one works for sure for Baltimore.
All I could think of was, man, how exciting with Lamar Jackson and Hollywood Brown together.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine the speed on that, on that team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Hollywood Brown, I thought last year was, as sad as I thought he was underrated. I think he can do so much more. So, his nickname is pretty much where price of admission, because that's just how he is. I mean, he's flashy. Well, my thing with Hollywood Brown, though, is he is either going to be a superstar or a bust. There's no in between with him, I don't think. He's not going to just be your average wide receiver. So he's got star potential. I was kind of thinking that, I'm trying to think, who really could you compare him to? And then I'm like, I really couldn't come up with something, because he just, he just had kind of his own thing, he's an interesting pick. I hate taking wide receiver in like the 22 unless it's someone that's generational. He's not really generational. I think he could slide to the second round, but I thought if any team would be interested in him, it would be the Baltimore Ravens. So 23 for the Houston Texans, I got Greg Little, the offensive tackle from Mississippi.
I got him. This is where I got Cody Ford falling here. I got him going to the Texans because their offensive line was awful. It was awful last year. So they got to protect their quarterback in Deshaun Watson. If you keep him upright, he's a top 5 quarterback in this league potentially. So that's why I got them going offensive line as well.
Yep, offensive line is definitely, if they don't draft offensive line, then they're doing something stupid, because when you got a mobile quarterback, it's you have to protect him. And last year he was hit way, way, way too much. So definitely agree with you. They're addressing the offensive tackle side of the ball there. So for number 24 here, and the Raiders, I got them taking Josh Jacobs, the running back from Alabama.
I got them still on the offensive side, but I got them pick Noah Fant and Jared Cook, and so I need a replacement for him. And Fant is another guy that you got to have weapons for Carr to throw to. You got Antonio Brown now, so I didn't know if Fant. You got nice little duo of weapons to throw to over there for Derek Carr.
They may be looking to replace the running back side of the ball since Marshawn Lynch retired today. So I don't really, honestly, Brett, I don't even know why I picked them to pick a running back here. I just think Chucky is just dumb enough to pick something like that. So I was trying to think like him here. And I honestly think that he could take a second round running back in the first round.
Would not surprise me at all. Would not surprise me.
Mm-hmm. It's hard to think like that disaster of a team. So,
Yeah.
All right, for number 25, we got the Philadelphia Eagles. I got them taking Jonathan Abram, the safety from Mississippi State.
I got them taking. I got them taking. I was split here. I could have seen them taking Hollywood Brown, but I got them taking Jerry Tillery actually on the defensive side of the football. Their pass rush wasn't terrible last year, their run defense wasn't terrible, but if you look at their sack percentages, stuff like that, you get to the real hardcore details. You see plenty of their passing defense was bottom half of the league last year, and their sack percentage was the bottom of the league last year. So they're getting to the passer or the quarterback some, but not getting to them enough per drop back, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, Philadelphia is one of those teams that they have a few needs. So to me, there was a toss up of, I kind of just went with maybe best guy there. When I was going through, I was looking through their, wants and needs, and, they very well could go on the offensive side of the ball as well. So I don't know, man, that was one of the toughest ones for me to try and find somebody in there, just because they do have so many places that they could go with that pick. So
Mhm.
26 for the Indianapolis Colts. I got Jeffrey Simmons, the defensive tackle from Mississippi State.
I got them going with Jonathan Abram, the Mississippi State safety, and again, they've been slowly piecing that defense back together a little bit, and I feel like this will be another key piece for them, and hopefully might even could potentially take them to turn them into a contender in the AFC. But I won't say the Patriots are starting to go downhill a little bit, but they lost Gronk. Who knows what's going to happen with them? But it's a little bit more wide open in the AFC now.
Yeah, it's crazy how many sets of teammates on one side of the ball there are in the draft this year. Mississippi State, Clemson loaded up with guys. And so this is another one where I don't think you could go wrong with Jonathan Abram or Jeffrey Simmons in that pick. Bo could definitely help out Indianapolis, like I said, as they're piecing together the defense again. And that's a team that could surprise by next year or the year after. They're slowly starting to build it up. Andrew Luck will have another year, back from injury. So they're definitely one of my teams to watch out for next year. So back to the Raiders again here to see where they could screw up. This is one of those ones where it's just a cornerback toss up. I had Rocky Sin from the cornerback from Temple.
This pick here, I think it could be traded, even though the Raiders need all the help they can get. But I feel like the Falcons, they do like Greedy Williams here. He's still on the board right now in my mock, and I could see them trading back up here to get Greedy Williams. But if not, I got the Raiders taking Greedy Williams either way because he's long and athletic, but you always see him. People complain about his tackling. He takes plays off and stuff like that. That's going to be an issue, and he would fit perfectly on the Falcons with that because the Falcons could not tackle last year. So if I were to try to get him, it would go there. If not, he go to the Raiders. They'll work with him over there in Oakland. But yeah, I got Greedy Williams at 27 to the Raiders.
28 for the Chargers. I got Greedy Williams. I think that they also need cornerback protection as well. So I got them with Greedy Williams at quarterback.
I got the Chargers. I got them taking Dalton Risner, the lineman out of Kansas State. And like I said, the Chargers, they are a solid group, and they got a solid group coming back. And but again, it's never a bad thing to get some offensive line help and boost the interior, which they kind of need to a little bit.
Back to my Seattle Seahawks. This is where this is a kind of a I hope pick, but I don't think they're going to be here at number 29. I think that if they don't trade up and package, that they'll trade out here. One thing they like to do is accumulate picks because the Seahawks, we all know they hit really, really well on third, fourth, fifth rounders. So I'm sure they wouldn't mind adding a couple of thirds, to give up this pick. But I think it's going to be Byron Murphy, the cornerback from Washington. I hope he stays.
I guess, again, stick on the secondary, but again, I do agree with you. I do see them. I don't know if they're going to keep both their first-round picks or either trade up, trade one, and move back a little bit. But I got them taking Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, the safety from Florida. And he's not exactly a Cam Chancellor mold, but he's a good guy. He can cover some ground out there in the secondary. I feel like it'd be a good fit for Seattle.
Part of me also hopes that Jonathan Abram is still there too, because
he'll be a good fit.
Yeah, having Earl Thomas leave and go to the Ravens, we need another safety to slide in there. And, Jonathan Abram is that impact type safety that would fit really, really well in the secondary for the Seahawks. So I don't think there's any way that he is there, but I can always hope. So number 30 for Green Bay, I got Devin Bush, the linebacker from Michigan.
My number, I got them taking Irv Smith, the tight end, or Irv Smith Jr., the tight end from Alabama. And Jimmy Graham's days are definitely numbered in Green Bay. We all know that. And so Irv Smith, I played a big-time athletic tight end from Alabama. And, again, they could go tight end at number 12, Noah Fant, or T.J. Hawkinson if he was still there. They might take him. But, yeah, I got them taking Irv Smith Jr.
Yeah, it's funny that that even though we don't have the same picks, we seem to have very similar to what their needs are. Because, like I said,
Yeah.
I had them taking Noah Fant at 12 as a tight end. So and then like I said, you had Devin Bush going up to them at 12. So I think that addresses both of their needs. And Devin Bush he's been sliding up. Trending upwards the last week or so. So I don't think he's going to be there at number 30. So if he does go at number 12, Noah Fant obviously won't be there. So Irv Smith is definitely a good pick for them at that pick. So for 31 for the Rams, I got Garrett Bradbury, the center from NC State.
I got them taking Jeffrey Simmons, however I say it, the defensive tackle from Mississippi State. They got replaced Ndamukong Suh somehow. Or I could see them going offensive lineman too, because they got replaced that interior offensive line a little bit. They lost a couple guys in there. But either one makes sense, but I got them going with Jeffrey Simmons to replace Suh and look to fill the offensive line needs later on in the draft.
Yeah, they another team that's going to be around for quite a while, so they just got little needs to fill. You brought up the best one. Suh is going to be their biggest guy to have to replace. So they, that I definitely think that they're going to stick on the offensive side of the ball. I just think for them, they got to have really bigger guys up front, because Jared Goff was exposed pretty bad in the Super Bowl. Rushed, and that's one thing is they'll never win a Super Bowl if Jared Goff is rushed, just because he turns into a different quarterback when there's a lot of pressure on him. I mean, he's young, it's going to happen, but I was able to call that Super Bowl, just so easily, where he just wouldn't do anything if people were even breathing on him, because he just he doesn't have that confidence yet. So now on to the champs. New England, I can't see them having this pick at all at 32. This is, to me, is whoever trades into 32 to pick Daniel Jones from Duke is where this pick is going. But I have them taking Dalton Risner, the offensive tackle from Kansas State.
I got them going with DK Metcalf. Everybody knows who he is now after that combine. Imagine him or Tom Brady throwing to him what they could do together. And if you have Josh Gordon come back, if he can get back on the field, that's two freak athletes Tom Brady's going to be throwing a football to. And you got Julian Edelman.
You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with another weapon for Tom Brady. I mean, but the thing is, though, is I don't hardly ever see them hitting on draft picks for weapons. It just seems that those just kind of fall into their hands.
Just come out of nowhere.
Just find the newest white guy to run up the middle and get 10 concussions and score 80 times, and that's who they like. I mean, that's been the Patriots' way for going on about 10 years now. So
pretty much. I mean, they might even draft Quan Marshall in the 7th round and have them be the next biggest time slot receiver or something. Who knows?
Well, I just think I think Daniel Jones is moving quickly up the ladder, and one of these two teams that or two or three teams that miss out on a quarterback within the top 10 picks or so are going to realize that he'd be a great guy to have sit around for a year. And the other thing too is it could be a surprise team. To be honest with you, Bret, New England could take Daniel Jones. I mean, they've never been afraid to take a star-studded quarterback at late in the round. I mean, look at Jimmy G. I mean, they haven't been afraid to do that. So they could take Daniel Jones, let him sit, and then end up trading him 2 years when he's the next star, and then picking up some draft capital, through that way. So, but it's definitely going to be a lot of surprises. So let's go to. I went over to YouTube real quick, and Pizza Parker, he said, "What person did you draft to the Ravens?" Man, I got Hollywood Brown. I mean, I just think. Again, I think him and Lamar Jackson would be just the most exciting tandem ever. I don't I don't know about that pick. Again, I think Ravens fans would rather see what Bret said, which is an offensive guy to protect their quarterback. But I just gotta think, how fun would that be to have him and Hollywood together? So,
pretty fun.
Tushar said that he agrees with a tight end for Detroit. Oh man, he just needs he needs weapons. I don't know.
Absolutely.
He's still hard to read. I mean, and then he's going through the personal stuff now with with his wife, so he's got a lot on his mind. Matt Stafford's got to step up here soon. I mean,
absolutely
the mediocrity that he's provided for the last, I think he's been in the league 7 years now, 8 years. He's been there a while, but it's it's just been nothing but mediocrity. So, Dougie, he says that's time for the Giants to move on from Manning and draft his replacement. I don't think that it's time for them to move on from Manning because they don't got nobody. I mean, who are you going to move on to? I mean, again, you drafted Kyle Lauletta, but Kyle Lauletta's not game ready. He's a guy that needs to sit behind Eli Manning for a couple of years, learn the game, and then maybe he's going to be ready. But they could very well be trying to move up or hope that one of the guys fall down to them. So, and he said Ed Oliver going to the Bills, Lions, or Falcons. I don't know about the Lions, the Bills. Definitely Falcons. I mean, I'm telling you, Dan Quinn has made no qualm that he would love Ed Oliver. So, I think honestly, I think Ed Oliver is going to either the Falcons or Seahawks. I think both of those two teams. Both those two teams have shown the most love for him, so I think they either trade up so it's going to be a battle. But it was kind of a good grab for the Seahawks to get that second pick because now the Falcons essentially have to offer a first this year and a first next year.
Next year, yep.
If they want to move up, so you say, let's see what else we got here. He said the Patriots need a quarterback once Brady retires. I agree with you. Again, how many years he got left in him. I mean, we say that every year, but then he wins another championship and then says he wants to play till he's 90. So who knows when he's going to retire? Why would you retire?
I named the watch for. I feel like about Will Greer. If all those quarterbacks go early on, the Patriots are in the market for a quarterback, and they feel like they need one in this draft. Will Greer could be their guy at 32. They do decide to stay there.
So now, final kind of thing. One last thing, Falcons. Who do you really, not talking mock draft, who do you think that they're going to take at that? Are they going to trade up, or you think they're going to stick down there?
You asking me?
What was that?
He said, "Are you asking me?" My mic broke out.
Yeah, I just think that I just want to know, who you really thought that they would take with that pick, at 14, not mocking or anything, but in your mind.
Who they're going to pick up 14, definitely. I mean, Dex, I don't know, man. Something's telling me they're going to pick Greedy Williams at 14. I want them to go defensive line. They should go defensive line, but I could see them getting Greedy Williams at 14.
Yeah, I think honestly it's going to be DeAndre Baker. Part of me don't want DeAndre Baker, but they do need a cornerback. So it's not like they're reaching for something this year. I thought that they reached with Calvin Ridley last year, but he turned out a great first half. Didn't have the best second half, but. But so it's not like DeAndre Baker is a reach for them or anything like that. But I just think that there's better picks out there, I guess. But yeah, my guess is DeAndre Baker.
It's a deep defensive line draft, so you got to take what you can get there.
Yeah,
there's talent. I mean, I feel like they're a team. They have 8 picks after the first round. They could trade back into the back half of the first round. They see a corner they like and take one then. But I would take defensive line at 14, but. Again, knowing the Dimitrov, I didn't see Calvin really coming last year. But they could take a corner at 14 this year. Who knows?
But yeah, so stay tuned. We'll probably come up with something for tomorrow night when the Falcons pick. I don't know if we'll go live, but we'll definitely be covering the draft over on ATLSportsHQ.com. Follow us on Twitter as well, ATLSportsHQ, and at Birds in the Bins is where we'll also be doing some NFL draft tweets, especially when the Falcons turn comes into effect. And then look for an article. Bret and I will put our picks in an article as well. So look for that coming here probably either tonight or tomorrow. So we appreciate you guys coming in and joining us, and we will talk to you guys next time.